Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more F1 online league racing content here today, and we are back for round number 6 of the season for the Spanish Grand Prix in the Apex Online Racing League. Now first of all guys, there's a lot to get through if you haven't seen the last episode, so I'm going to give you a chance to go watch that one guys, and I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. It was probably my greatest ever strategy call in any race in F1, whether it's online or offline, and it was a crazy race guys, and there's some really key information at the end of the video. If you want to see that video, now's your chance to watch it before I go spoil it, which will be right now. So hopefully by now you would have clicked on that episode. But today we are here at the Spanish Grand Prix. It is round 6, but it's the start of a new season. And what do I mean by that? So if you guys didn't watch the last episode, it was unfortunately due to a lack of attendance that the leagues got shuffled around. So lower tiers got merged upwards. So basically we've now got a much more complete and full grid in AOR F1 top split, but it does mean to give everyone a fair chance, the point standings have been reset, and therefore it's going to mean that the season is starting from afresh right now. So unfortunately, even though it's a good and a bad thing, you know, I won the last race, it was my first win, ultimately it meant nothing, which is a real shame. I was also 4th in the championship and quite a few points behind, so this also gives me a chance to bounce back. But having said that, I would have liked to have had that last win count. Nonetheless though guys, we are here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Now that's not all, because there's more to this. Now you might be able to tell by the thumbnail or the title, I'm not sure which way I'll do it first, but either way there's a reference to Mr. Nico Hulkenberg, and the reason for this is because for this race, the Spanish Grand Prix, round number 1 technically of the new season, I went into this race with 0 laps of practice, and I was very surprised because, you know, I'd done no practice. There's a bunch of new guys in the league, hungry to do well, and basically I literally got a setup that I knew was quick, and I just ran with it. So it's going to be really exciting. It's very much a Hulkenberg situation, and the reason for this is because on that Sunday I actually had a family event during the day, and I was out the entire day, and then literally as I got back home I had just enough time to get my video uploaded for the day, which was a My Team episode, and literally I hopped straight in. So 0 practice, not a lap, I didn't even know the setup, I just jumped straight in, and we're going to see how it goes. It's very much Nico Hulkenberg 3.0, if you will, after Hulkenberg's real life heroics in the Nürburgring race this past weekend gone. So let's jump into it and let's see how the episode goes. If you guys are going to enjoy this video, then drop a like and subscribe for more league racing content guys. It's the thing I'm loving the most on the channel right now, so any support in this would be massive, and let's get today's race underway. Well, here we are then, another race weekend guys, and as you can see we are getting things underway in qualifying. Now because I had no practice, I went with a very interesting strategy for this one. So what I did was I went for a set of soft tyres, and I'm going to basically do loads of laps. Simple as that. I'm going to invalidate them all on purpose, so I'm going to make sure I run wide off the track limits at the same corner pretty much most laps, and make sure that way the laps do not count. But I'm still getting some delta times, some sector times as a reference, and I'm also getting in a bit of a groove with the setup at the same time. So that was the plan. I pretty much ran it until my fuel ran out. I was using standard mix and none on the ERS, so that way I was kind of sandbagging and not showing my true pace either. And yeah, it basically just gives me a bit of an idea as to what to aim for in terms of pace. So currently you can see we've got a 1:16.7 on an invalidated lap, and we're still pushing on here. As you can see, I was the 10th up on this lap, but I peeled off into the pit lane. So it lets me know that there was probably a 1:16.6 on the table. You then compare that to the lap times that have been set so far, and you're into the 1:14. So I've got a bit of an idea as to what to aim for, and my only lap was going to be on the medium tyres, because this is ultimately the better strategy. You want to go for the one stop, and you want to start the mediums and then go to the hard tyres. So here we go then. Let's go for a full lap of Spain, because I was actually quite proud of this lap. So I'm going to commentate this one for a change. Out the final corner, DRS wide open down towards turns 1, 2 and 3. They all come up really quickly, so you've got to be ready for all of them. First of all, turn 1, braking pretty much at the 50-meter board, 4th gear, clip the inside curb, and then take a lot of inside curb through turn 2. Keep the throttle pinned through 3, let the car run wide if you need to find a bit of time, then bring it over to the right to make up a bit more lap time as we conclude sector 1. We then open up turn 4, let the car run wide on the exit, use that exit curb as well, then bring the car over to the right and then open up the left-hander of turn 5. Second gear, important to get a good exit out of here, because you're going to get that momentum down the hill as we then go into the left-right chicane. The little flick, absolutely perfect, bit of oversteer, but we catch it beautifully. Now turn 9, holding it in 6th, short shift to 7th, midway through the corner, and a really good line through there, keeping it flat out, which was great. We then go down towards the hairpin as the traffic gets out of the way. First gear quickly, back up to third again on a short shift, and then making our way through the little kink along the long right-hander. And up until this point, that lap was pretty good. It got a bit messy right now, so the final part of the lap here in Sector 3, just struggling to find that grip on the mediums here, especially this chicane section. I just clunked the curb on the left-hander, and I got some oversteer mid-corner, which kind of ruined my exit, but still a good lap. We go P2 behind Andinator, and that is a really, really surprising time. I did not expect that in top split, so I was really happy with that one. A 114.7 on the dot, and a great lap on mediums, and we get to start the race on these tyres, and by the look of it, we were actually quite competitive. In the end, Camille Common in the Williams was fastest, Failer second, Andinator P3 ahead of Paris, and we finished the session in 5th place, which, to be fair, I'm going to put that down as one of our strongest qualifyings in a long time, actually, and I do think had I had the practice time, I could have probably gone for pole, so I'm happy with that. Really good pace. The car was working brilliantly. I definitely think a top 3 was possible because the final sector, that final chicane, we got the line completely wrong through there. And I think I left a little bit of time at the hairpin as well, turn number 10. So I think a 0.5 could have easily been a possible lap time for us. But again, I'll take it. P5 is more than enough for me. And with that said, guys, that's it for qualifying. We're now going to move into the race here for the Spanish Grand Prix. Now, the good thing about the championship being reset is that actually everyone starts from 0. Now, my teammate, Florian Napik, or FK Gaming in-game as what he's called, he's been away for a little while because unfortunately he broke both of his arms, which is really, really unfortunate. But today, this was his first race back in about 4.5 weeks. Therefore, I'm happy to see him back, and it's going to be really good to see him in action. I'm not expecting a lot from him because he's ultimately still recovering, but hopefully this can be the start of things to come, and we can start to improve as a team and try to score some big points in this new kind of reset season. But as you can see on screen, for the race strategy, we're going to start, of course, on those medium tyres that we qualified on, and then move on to the hard compound tyres. Very simple, one-stop strategy, and fuel-wise, we are going to underfuel the car slightly by 0.2, so hopefully that will help us out, and no rain expected here today in this race. So with that said, we're going to move on towards the end of the formation lap, and we are going to form up on the grid. I'm feeling pretty confident about this because I think, you know, if we manage to get P5 in qualifying with no practice, I do think with the race pace, you know, lap after lap, we should get more confident and quicker. So I'm actually looking forward to this. But here we go then. We're going to cut on to the main event as the lights start to come on here at the circuit, the Catalunya. 5 lights are on, and away we go for yet another race and the reset of the AOR F1 Championship. Pretty good start, matching everyone around us as we go down towards turn number 1. We're going to see if we can try and find the outside line, as actually Camille Common goes straight on in the Williams and straight to the wall. So some kind of issue there for him maybe with his wheel. And now look at this, Warren down the inside into turn 3. And I don't know who got ahead there before the VSC. We're going to catch a quick replay here because this was so close. And you can see Warren on the inside. Look at the position in the top left. And it's literally millimetrical, but I believe Warren just got it as the VSC was called because I was asked to actually give the place to him after this. So unfortunately, we had to let Warren in front of us. So that was a shame because we could have been P4, having benefited from Camille's issue. But we're back down to P5 now. We're behind both Red Bulls as Jan Failer in the McLaren will lead the way, Andinator in second, and then it's a double Red Bull with Paris ahead of Warren, and we've got a Stroopy behind us in the Mercedes. So here we go then, on to lap 2, and now the race will pretty much get underway on this virtual safety car restart. And at this point now, for me, the early part of the race was about being conservative. So you can see in front, we've got a battle there between Andinator and Failer for the race lead. This is great news for us. Meanwhile, personally, I'm not quite up to speed just yet, so I'm trying to get my confidence, you know, up a little bit, and I'm trying to find my groove in this race as we lose Camille from the race. And you can see these two in front are still battling away here. I'd love to get involved, but you can see we're having our own issues here, getting a bit loose out of turn 4. So like I said, we're trying to get comfortable and trying to find a bit of a rhythm in this race, and I feel like once we get a couple laps into it, we can start to really show our pace. You can see Failer setting a new fastest lap. We're a couple of tenths off that, so not too bad as we go on to lap 4. And that was the target, really. Try and stay in the mix, you know, try and stick with the leaders here. They're in a bit of a train at the minute, so that's the objective. Just try and stay with them, stay in the race, don't drop out of DRS, otherwise you're going to lose a lot of time. And yeah, pretty much that was the message from myself in this early part of the Grand Prix. We set a pretty good lap actually, mid 118, much more on the pace. And again, lap by lap, you'll see me going faster and faster, finding that confidence as you see Paris lock up there into the hairpin. And that was the start of many lockups for the Red Bull drivers ahead of us. It was mainly Paris, but Warren also got involved with a few lockups of his own, and this was good for me because it makes me realise that these guys are struggling on their tyres. You can see Warren there locked up into turn 1, and all these little signs, will let me know, okay, I'm not doing too bad here, I've got good pace. And it was around this point now, lap 8, 9, 10, I started to realise, okay, personal best, I've actually got a bit of pace, and I want to kind of make a move now because I feel like I'm actually quicker than a couple of these guys ahead of me, and my tyres also seem to be in much better condition. You can see Paris again locking up. He's struggling now to hold on to Jan Fehler, who's been overtaken by Andernator, and just generally the Red Bulls, you can see again both of them locking up there in stereo into turn 5. Now I know some of it can be lag related, but generally the lobby was pretty consistent, so I'd like to believe it was genuine lag. And you can see here now at the end of lap 9, I'm on for 2 personal best sectors, and this big train now pulling to the inside. Everyone's getting pretty close, but I'm definitely at that point now where, okay, I'm fast, I've got really good pace here, I want to make this happen. So you can see now lap 11, this was the first sign. As we go to turn 4, Warren locks up, I get extremely close under braking there, and I have to get out of it, but a 10th up in the first sector already, and I was really starting to feel the benefit of the tyres, and I definitely felt like an overcut was becoming the better strategy option for me instead of an undercut or pitting on my scheduled pit stop lap, which is lap 13. So as you can see, Warren pits, and that is perfect for us because I was starting to feel really, really quick, and this is really good for us. We get clean air with some DRS. We're just about a second behind Paris, so hopefully we can try and get back within DRS range of the Red Bull. We pick up our first warning there for track limits on lap 12, which was a bit of a shame because up until that point I'd had a pretty clean race so far. But look at this, 3.5 tenths up in the middle sector on this lap. We are absolutely flying, and this is me going for an overcut, so we're going to try and get ahead of Warren here and close up to Paris. So just trying to keep that pace up. I knew I had good tyres, better than everybody else, and I could use them. So you can see how much we've closed up, especially sector 3. I was really, really quick through here, and Paris peels off into the pit lane along with Andernator. Myself and Jan Fehler stay out for another lap as we set yet another personal best into the 117s, 3 tenths quicker. Really good lap, and this was our scheduled pit stop lap, but I was on a purple middle sector here, and we was closing up to Fehler. You can see the delta, we actually managed to just about nab DRS through there as Fehler pits, and we're going to take the lead. I'm actually going to stay out for one more lap. I was going to pit with him, but because I want to try and do something different, I felt like I had the tyres for one more lap, so we went for one more, and absolutely flat out we went. Unfortunately, I went a bit too flat because through turn 9 I just ran a bit wide and picked up a second warning for track limit. So at this point I kind of accepted I might be getting a time penalty, which is a bit of a shame, but as you can see now, end of lap 14, we have had an amazing first stint here. We just kept getting quicker and quicker, and the confidence in the car was growing lap by lap, and the overcut worked for us because I was able to set a purple lap on lap 13, which is insane, and even the in lap was about 2 tenths off my personal best. So we had some very good pace. We're now going to come in for a standard 2.6 second pit stop onto the hard compound tyres, and now we're going to see where everybody is. So here comes Andy and Jan Fehler as well, but look at this, we might have just made this work here. There go the front 2. Here comes Warren in the Red Bull, and we are out ahead of him, and there's no sign of Paris. I'm not sure what happened to him, but either way we have overcut both Red Bull cars here by staying out a bit longer, and also we're going to have the freshest hard compound tyres out of anybody. So in the end, the strategy worked out beautifully for us. You can see at the minute, we're just outside of a DRS and out of the 1 second window of Jan Fehler. We do set a purple sector 3, but on lap 16, I was able to set a really good lap and actually get myself back within a second. My third sectors were just perfect every single lap. We were so strong through there. The slow speed stuff, I was really, really quick. And you can see now until lap 17, we set a new fastest lap, and we've now got DRS once again on Jan Fehler. Warren also followed me in the process here. So things are going really, really well. Andy 1.5 up the road, so he's not too far away, and we was firmly in the race here. This is currently a net P3 as it stands, and you can see now as we just go over half race distance, Fehler just struggling for a bit of grip there. He gets a bit loose through the hairpin, and I'm just starting to feel my chances. He gets a bit loose through the right hander there again, struggling for some rear grip and traction, and that is going to allow us to really close the gap. He also misses his apex into the right hander, and also again there through the chicane, a very scruffy third sector from him. We get a bit loose ourselves, but we've got a chance now to get past Fehler. Now this wasn't my plan. Originally I wanted to stay behind him for another 2, 3, 4 laps and charge up my ERS and save a bit of fuel because I was quite low, but at the end of the day, if you get a chance, you've got to take it. So we go past and move up into what is a net P2 now in the Spanish Grand Prix. And I can tell you, Andy up the road has a 3-second time penalty. So currently we are 2.1 behind. So as it stands, we are in place to win this race, as the guys on the hard compound tyres pit for their one stops onto the medium tyres, and we set a personal best in the process. So suddenly this race has really turned around here as Brownie pits as well, and we take our second place. We are now in a great position. You know, Andy with a 3-second time penalty, we've got second place. The pace is strong and I'm liking this, but there was a bit of an issue. So as the race went on, I started to realise Andy was a bit too quick. So I was trying my hardest, I was using every trick in the book, but unfortunately I just didn't have enough ERS or fuel to really push. I was always trying to manage the last bit of it, and I tried my best, but we didn't have enough, and that was the nature of the bad side, the consequence of overtaking Failer when I wasn't ready, and that's because I wanted to save more fuel and ERS behind him. But yeah, in the end, you can see in the top left, gradually Andy starts to edge away. I was trying to pull away from Failer as well, and trying to get a 1-second gap, because I knew the longer Failer would stay there, the more ERS he would have, and he might even attack me in the closing stages. You can see here on this lap 30, 2 green sectors. Andy now 3.4 seconds up the road. He's actually covered himself, and we've almost got a 1-second gap to Failer, but he just hangs on. And there was multiple times that this happened where Failer was just able to hang on to the DRS. We set a personal best by 3/10, a very strong lap from me there, and even then I wasn't able to catch Andy at all that lap. He was just too quick for me. So unfortunately we're gonna have to let go of the race win in this one. I just can't find 4/10 at the minute, and you can see now at the end of lap 31 we've finally got the 1-second gap to Jan Failer here, but again he manages to just hold on through the exit of the final chicane, and I believe he's just held on to DRS one more time, and we're now at lap 32, 2 laps to go here. You can see the delta, he's crawling back in and catching me up once again. So yeah, it was really, really intense, but this was the key moment of the race. So 32 laps in, I pick up my final warning, and it was such a stupid mistake. I really hate myself for it. We was closing in on Andy here because I was really pushing hard, but that has given now a 3-second time penalty to our final race time. And I can tell you, Warren and Failer do not have a 3-second time penalty. So as it stands right now, we are finishing off the podium. This was not what I wanted, but you'll see here now, this final sector, I absolutely nailed it. The second I got that time penalty, I don't know what happened, but a fire started to burn in my belly. We hit a beautiful final sector. We've managed to actually pull away and clear Failer from the DRS, and suddenly now Failer is under pressure from Warren in the Red Bull, and I've got to get 3 seconds in 1 lap here to cover myself and finish on the podium. So here we go. We're going to stay on board here for the entire lap, the final lap of the race, and what was probably the lap of my life. And we're going to give it absolutely everything here. You can see behind us by the delta, you can just tell because they're both 1.6 behind, 1.7 behind. They are side by side right now, and this is exactly what I needed here. I was giving it absolutely everything I had, using all the ERS, all of the fuel that I have left, and just pushing it to the limit. I've got the penalty already, so there's no need to me to be cautious. I can just give it everything and leave it all on the line. So you can see here, turn 9 absolutely flat out through there, and we are flying on this lap. The gap is now 2 seconds here, and these two behind us still battling away as we head into the hairpin, as we get a bit of a lock-up, but still carrying the speed. A very good lap so far, and actually Warren and Failer swap places for a brief second there as they continue to battle into this tight and twisty Sector 3. Look at the gap now, 2.8 seconds, and we're getting very close here through the final chicane. It's been a perfect lap from us. Andonator will win the race out the final corner. We're going to come through P2. Is it going to be enough though? The gap is 3 seconds. It's a purple final sector, a personal best, and I can tell you it is enough. We've just done it by 1/10 of a second. We hold on to the second place finish, and that was a brilliant final lap of the race, and I will take that. As you can see on screen, the confirmation of all the results here. Andonator with the win and the 3-second time penalty. Myself, 3-second time penalty, 3.4 seconds behind Andy. And look at that, by 1/10 of a second, we finish ahead of Jan Failer and hold on to a brilliant second place with no practice. I will absolutely take that. What a brilliant race here today, and an insane start to the brand new season. So happy days. Warren gets P4 ahead of Kimiz, Padlo, Futej, Brownie P7 ahead of Paris, Kryzix, and Josh, who runs off the top 10. And we've got Rainbow, Scrippy, Christian, my teammate FK Gaming, picking up the fast lap of the Grand Prix here today in P14 out the points. And then we've got Joltash, and then Camille, of course, who crashed at the start of the race. So yeah, 16 runners here today, much better than the previous races, and we score a brilliant second place. We then move, of course, into the driver standings. No real updates here, of course. It's based off of the race results, so we move up to second place straight off the bat, which is a great start for us this season. And happy days, much better start than, of course, back in Australia where we got a really poor race under our belt. We then look at the constructor standings, and you can see we are straight up into third place, which is awesome. So really, really good stuff. And hopefully, like I said, in future races, once Florian, my teammate, is back to 100% health, he can start to score a few points, and between the two of us, hopefully we can try and make a challenge for the constructor standings. But guys, that's going to be it for this crazy race here today. I loved it. HULKENBERG 3.0 with the lap of my life right at the end. If you guys enjoyed this video, then smash that like button, guys, and let's see if we can try and hit 500 likes for this video, guys. That's going to be the target. Subscribe for more league racing content on my channel, guys. I'd much appreciate it if you could. And also check out the 2 videos on screen along with the entire playlist and also the previous episode at Zandvoort. But guys, that is it for me here today for this episode, and I'll see you all in the next one for the Monaco Grand Prix, which I'm very much looking forward to. But until then, guys, take care, and it's goodbye from me.